Hello all, this is Youjo, and today I'm going to address Shreveport, and I think in general I'll be addressing the black community as well. Today I attended a Trayvon Martin gathering, if you will, outside of our Caddo Parish Courthouse on Texas Street downtown. And as much as I appreciate the gathering of the cause, because this is an important issue that people need to know that we address as well, and it is very important that we meet, and I'm really impressed and I'm so proud of the effort. I am extremely disappointed at what it turned out to be about. I'm going to start off with saying Trayvon Martin's mother said that this is not about race, this is about right and wrong. And other people do not seem to understand that. First of all, George Zimmerman is either Hispanic or Hispanic white mixed. He is not white. Just like Obama isn't black. He's African mixed with, I think his mother is Irish or something, but in any case, she's white. He's mixed. And people insist on calling him white to make this an all-out race issue. Or ethnicity issue. We're all the same race because we're all human beings. And all I can sum up to say is, if this was a meeting of white people and white people were up there saying the same things a lot of those black people said, we would have thought the KKK was in town or something, or some other white supremacy group that wasn't exactly preaching killing, of course, but I mean, people are so proud of who they are instead of actually what they do, and it should actually be the other way around. They quote Dr. King and they quote all these other civil rights leaders, but it's like the message remained misconstrued. You're supposed to be proud of what you do, not who you are, because you were just born the way that you are. What you make of it is what you should be proud of. And what civil rights leaders are trying to get across is that people aren't good or bad based on just what they are, like I've already said. But even though they preach the message of equality to the masses, it still turns into black power. The opposite chant of white power. And if being proud of just something that was just handed to you at birth is the way that you best feel that you should get by, as long as you're not trying to wave it in my face, you go ahead and about your business. But I am way more proud of the things that I do instead of what I am. I'm black, I'm bisexual, I'm a southerner, I'm all these things, and none of which I'm particularly proud of. Now, I do show my bi pride every now and then, or more so whenever I wear a certain backpack that has beads on it, and wearing my equal rights sticker and a tag holder, because I don't have anything to stick it on, and I want to be able to take it around with me wherever I go. So if I put it in a tag holder, I can just tie it on things. So I do that because I use my bisexuality to support equality amongst the queer people and the non-queer people, to show that I am not different and I shouldn't be treated differently. I should have all the same rights and privileges and so on and so forth. But it's just, I know I'm not ending my sentence properly. I was talking to someone else, and this guy felt the need to jump in, being one of those, I think it's called dashiki things. I don't know what it's called. African colors or something. I don't know. But he said this isn't about something else that I was saying. This is about being racist. This is about love and gathering people together. And I was like, dude, if somebody else was out here, if this wasn't like white people out here saying the same thing, then what would you say? And he just left me alone for that. And then he came back and he was like something else. I forgot, because it was just really stupid anyway. And I was like, I just don't appreciate the fact that they said that everybody was going to speak for 4 or 5 minutes, and people were up there 10, 20 minutes, and he was like, oh, so their rights should be limited. And I was like, no, they said that they would be up there for 4 or 5 minutes, and they're taking 10 and 20 minutes. And he was like, well, you can just leave. And I was like, I have, and I came back, and then he left me alone again, and then I walked away from him. And my pastor was there, and being white, she did say her piece, and everybody cheered for her all the same. But I don't think that she had the same effect because, one, she's white, and two, she wasn't preaching Christian God and quoting the Bible and stuff, because she's a universal Unitarianist representing the Universalist Unitarian Church. So, but she did do her part, and she did very well. And at the end part, I noticed that she was kind of like passed over by the other black people as they like greeted each other. And in the end part, some lady was standing in front of her, and I sure as hell ran up there and pulled my pastor to the front, because nobody pulls my pastor in the back as long as I'm around. And it was like, the racism is so blatant, but it's coming from both sides, and it's like, that's what people aren't getting. Racism doesn't mean white people that hate black people. Racism means people that discriminate against people for being a certain ethnicity. That's what racism means. Because, like I said, we're not a different race because we're all human beings. We're different ethnicities. But somehow race just kind of, it's a, we take to one syllable words so well. Nobody really wants to say ethnicity all the time because that's more than one syllable. But if I could offer a little bit of critique to the black community as someone who is a part of it. First of all, why did you talk so long? And it's like, our stereotype is that black people are always late. I was like, maybe we're late because we talk so damn much. You said 4 or 5 minutes, and people were up there seriously 10 and 20 minutes making a speech. No consideration for other people's time. And those people were out there, a lot of them in hoodies in 80-something degree weather, and nobody had any water bottles or anything like that. I'm going to say every function that I've been to that had something Caucasian run related to it has had some free refreshments, and people were just out there sweating like black people like watching each other suffer. So, be more considerate of other people's time. Use the length of time that you say that you're going to use. I mean, if you're going to talk longer, like you're actually going to have a 10-20 minute speech, just be honest with people. Let them know that they're going to be here for a while, and don't make people think that they're going to be there and then they're going to be gone. Because the first thing you said was 10 minutes, and that turned out to be 20 or 30 minutes. And then people went up there and you said that they were going to speak for 5 minutes, and they did not speak for 5 minutes. I'm just saying, be honest. And be considerate of your fellow man. If you're going to bring people out there in hoodies and have them stand there for like 2 hours so you can say everything that you have to say, people with these long speeches, have water so people don't have to die of heat stroke out there in hoodies. Just provide for your fellow man as you make your point. Those are my critiques to the black community. And I'm not just, blowing hot air. I actually try to be in mind of people. I don't make speeches. I'm not a speech maker. I just make little sentences while I have everybody's attention, and then we move around. But if I know I'm going somewhere, I'm trying to host something, I'm going to say, refreshments provided, or everybody brings something that they want to share. That's the way I do it. And none of the sharing is off limits to anyone. Like I've seen having a lot of black functions. Some things are for some people, and then these things are for everyone else, and blah, blah, blah. I don't do any of that. If you want it, you come get it because you're here. And that's all I have to say about that. And I hope everybody jumps along the Trayvon Martin movement, because this is a very sad injustice that needs to be cured. George Zimmerman needs to be in jail, and Trayvon Martin needs to be avenged with proper justice. Just wanted to put that out there.